Shalom, and welcome once again to Conversations with Caleb Cookie Gam. So, in today's presentation, I'll be speaking on how to master networking with your lecturers and alumni as an undergraduate. Why this is so important is because these persons can serve as the key to recommendations, to sponsorships. Sometimes some persons, in the process of scholarship application, they're like, "Oh, I don't have somebody to recommend me," and I'm like, how have you been relating with your lecturers? Or, with my point is it's very important that we are very intentional with these relationships, with these strategic connections. Now, I understand that there are some cultural dynamics, the fact that in Nigeria, age is still very much a big deal. And of course, this person's not just that they are older, they have also advanced a bit more when it comes to life and experiences and the societal strata and all of those things. However, there are just few tips that I want to share with you, and I trust it's going to help you on that journey of networking with your lecturers and alumni. Personally, I've enjoyed lots of opportunities, recommendations from my dean of faculty, Professor Gujo. I truly love and celebrate him, and uh, several several other lecturers. I think I would pause with the naming because there's a high chance that I might end up missing somebody's name. So what I'm simply saying is that, and those persons have really been key gatekeepers and sponsors, right? So we must learn to build genuine connections early. Don't wait till you need something. Don't wait till you need something before you introduce yourself to these persons, before they get to know you, and before you begin to have a healthy relationship, a healthy connection. Okay, like I said, they can also be key to providing you with academic support, providing you with career opportunities. Career opportunities. Lecturers provide critical recommendation letters, especially much later for those of you who have intentions to go for graduate school or to apply for scholarships. I have a video where I spoke about scholarships, and I think you should also see that, right? However, it's very important that you understand that one of the keys for that is a personalized recommendation letter. You don't want to talk to someone and then the person just gives one generalized, is a good person, and no specific thing, right? As to your project, as to your own story, as to you need these persons to know you so that they can be intentional about the recommendation letters that they can write for you. Also, alumni act as sponsors. They can open doors to your internships, to job referrals. The first job offer I had, it was a training for about a month plus, and then from there I got a graduate internship. After I graduated, was from an alumni. While in school, I was involved in politics. A lot of the programs I did were sponsored by alumni. This is one point where I really have to appreciate engineer George Okoyo. Right, he literally sponsored my events with millions of naira, and engineer Philip Anigoro, who also a lot of money and counsel and all of that, right? I sincerely do appreciate. I would have gone on, but the point is there are just a number of persons who have really been so much a blessing to me. And so these things I want to share with you are things that personally I've enjoyed and I want to encourage you to show up. When I was going for internship, that was my 400 level, I had as many as one, two, three, four offers, right? Four offers. One of which was even out of the state where I was. The point I'm making is that definitely these persons can be so critical to your career growth. I can't start telling a lot of testimonies, but it's very important that you understand that you approach them when as early as possible, right? And start cultivating the relationship, like I said, so that you don't just get one generic endorsement. And also, early relationships would ensure personalized support, and it also allows time for long-term mentorship as early as from your 100 level to 200 level. And these are also very critical in the Nigerian academic and professional environment. So, what is the first tip? The first rule that I want to emphasize: master the value first approach. You should always seek to offer value, understand what is important to this person, and seek to serve it, seek to provide support, seek to use your ability to create PowerPoint slides, to provide, to make a contribution, seek to volunteer for their programs or their events. So that my point is that you must learn to offer value before seeking help. Why? In one of my videos where I spoke about people you should have as friends in your circle, I made the statement that you must learn to make your friends before you need them. Okay, build goodwill early, right? Volunteer in their research, volunteer in departmental events. Sometimes when they're having simple academic setup, just support that. Okay. One of the ways also that I just found out that you can build good relationship with alumni is a number of them. One thing they love is giving back to the young person. So you can organize speaking sessions via Google Meets or physical meetings and invite them Those little contributions can begin to project you or position you as someone who is engaged, someone who is intentional, someone who is dependable, and it also sets you up for reciprocal support. The next rule is cultivate visibility in competence. First of all, let me speak about competence. Please work on yourself. Work on your knowledge base. Work on your certifications. Work on your skill set. You must be someone who is competent. You should be able to do something or offer something, right? You should be a person of character. Build your character first, so that you don't even get into relationships and use your own hand and spoil it. I don't know if that makes sense, right? So cultivate competence and character. However, I've also found out that there are a lot of persons who are competent, who have good character, but they are still shy. You must also gain visibility. You must show up, be known for something, begin doing something, right? Become an active, engaging, participating student in the university environment. For your lecturers, start asking questions during the lectures, right? It's so funny. Sometimes we want to hold our politicians accountable. If we can't just ask our lecturers in class questions because we are scared, then how do we think that we want to change Nigeria as a country? Or how do we think that? I don't know if that makes sense, right? I'm simply saying start asking questions, okay? Be bold, participate in academic clubs and even in leadership roles. You see, from my 300 level, 400 level, when I started holding some very key political positions, at one time I was the president of the Faculty Students Association. I just found out that the dynamics of my relationship with a lot of lecturers changed, right? Even with a lot of alumni, there was much more a platform and a basis for us to interact. So I'm simply saying show up, right? Accept that leadership role and serve to the best of your ability. Also engage in departmental initiatives, gain personalized endorsements, and be visible. Be visible. For those who you'll be connecting with online, okay, I'm going to speak more on that, right? And that is, yeah. For those who you'll be connecting with on LinkedIn, one of the persons who also was such a huge support to me, also a few millions, right? I know I'm saying this, right? Because for some of us, we are wondering, oh, as an undergraduate, can I really earn millions? I think I'm going to do just one video where I'll just share how I got millions from scholarships, millions from sponsorships, millions from a whole lot of things, right? From my own skill sets, millions in a number of things. My point is, I'll do that video. But for now, what I want to emphasize is that you must also be intentional about your visibility online, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, especially because of the professional, you know, status or professional mode of the platform. Okay, learn how to master professional follow up on your LinkedIn. What I mean by that is communication. There's another slide where I shared a few things. You must. It's not. Some of us must realize that don't put that your informal, unofficial, anyhow stuff online. Nah, please don't do that. Unless you want to just be a celebrity for fun, for entertainment, then okay, maybe you can do that, right? But if you want to be recognized or regarded or interacted with as a professional person, as someone who is building a budding career, then definitely you want to be intentional about your professional outlook. Okay. LinkedIn allows you to send personalized connection requests where you can. I also have a video where I spoke on LinkedIn. But one of the things you can do is that you can easily say, oh, why I am sending a connection request is because I saw that you are an alumnus of my institution. I am currently studying this. I am this. Be intentional about your presentation or about your approach. Also, email is still very much a big deal. Email is still very much a big deal. As much as yes, very soon I found out that some persons I start interacting with them on email via email, and then we go into WhatsApp for either faster response or just less formal responses. But it doesn't change the fact that there's a need to learn how to communicate via email, how to use your email address should be professional. Mine is calebcookigam@gmail.com and cookiekaleb@gmail.com. Very professional emails, okay? Learn how to use your subject line, learn the difference between BCC and CC, and just basic things like that. Okay. Also learn to report your progress report, right? How to give brief progress updates. It shows initiative and it also expresses gratitude, right? When people see that you're making progress, they are much more interested in investing in you. Okay. Also learn to to avoid overwhelming contacts. Please, these people are busy. Don't send 1,000 messages. Now I'm exaggerating, but you get the point, right? There are sometimes when you send a message, you space it before you send another follow-up message because everyone has his own life. Don't go into someone's space and you are being entitled, thinking they should respond to you the second or the minute you reach out. Please, okay? Be humble, be respectful, maintain professionalism in all of your communication so that it is positive and also, a very healthy and safe environment. Now, the fourth rule, that's the third rule. That's the third rule was primarily about professionalism. The fourth rule, which is possibly one of the first things I could have started with, is know your why. Be purpose driven. Know what you really want to do with your life, right? You should be able to ask specific questions. You should avoid all of those vague asks. Sometimes I have people reach out to me, and and their questions are not clear. It's almost as though they don't even know what exactly they are asking, and it's quite difficult to provide it's quite difficult to provide specific answers. Okay, so make your request clear, make it respectful, make it focused, and start building it. It would help you to get specific answers. Okay, now let me just give you some specific examples. A vague ask such as help me get a job. Which job? What type of job? Okay, what are the skills you're offering? I mean, that's just too vague. Oh, I'm looking for an internship. You've not even introduced yourself and your department and possibly what company. Have you even checked out what company the person is working with or working for? Right? My point is we should learn to have a clear goal, a clear purpose, be specific with our questions. Also providing specific context or details. Introduce yourself, right? Sometimes even when you're asking for a recommendation, you can provide some information on some things you have done that you are proud of that the person can include in his or her recommendation letter. You can also provide supporting documents such as your CV, such as the link to your LinkedIn, such as the summary of your achievements. Those things will make it easier for the lecturer or for the alumni that you are connecting with. And like I said, just make it easy for them. Make it easy for them. Very important also, don't be thoughtless. For many of those persons, actually, as much as I said, be value driven, be value based, they are not really gaining things from us, right? Because we're still at the very intentional part of our lives. Apart from maybe that sense of fulfillment of giving back. So be respectful. Don't come with that entitled mentality. Respect their time. Respect their time. Okay. Respect their own boundaries or their own principles. Okay. As much as yes, I shared some things. There are some details that I can't give about some of the persons who have really been such huge blessings to me. The fifth and last tool for now, before I just share some things also on professional communication and all, the fifth and last tool is that you must learn to close the loop with gratitude, with testimony. With testimony, give feedback when you make progress, when you finally get the internship, when you finally get the scholarship, when you finally get that graduate school that you're applying for. Please reach back, reach out, and give that feedback. It's part of how the person gets that sense of fulfillment. Okay, be profuse with your thanks. Don't just do thanks after somebody has helped you so much. Please don't just do thanks. T for thanks. What's that? Right? Be intentional about your Thanksgiving. Send personalized thank you notes. Sometimes you can even think of, a little gift that you can share or that you can give. Also learn to share your achievements. Like I said, it helps to validate their support, to show that, the inputs and the efforts they made were not in waste. Also stay engaged even beyond graduation, even beyond the time when you need their help. Okay? It helps to foster ongoing connections. There's also one of the I can give a lot of testimonies, but let me just go on quickly. So, what are some next steps that I would want you to take as touching this? Okay, just to recap the principles that I've shared. You must apply value first contribution. You must be visible with your competence, engage consistently, share your story, start documenting your journey as you progress in the university. Okay, follow up with professionalism and clarity, make clear, purposeful, specific acts. Okay, always express gratitude, always express gratitude. Now, one of the things I want you to do is to intentionally engage with one lecturer, right? It might be as simple as on Monday when you go to school, or reach out to someone in his or office and introduce yourself and ask a question. Okay, or just send one alumnus a connection request on LinkedIn. But please take action on those things that I have shared. Just a few more slides, and that'll be that for this conversation. You can read through this. I'll move on. Now, what are some of the challenges that students often face in why networking? Why networking? One of which is the fear of rejection. Some persons are just afraid that, oh, what if they shout on me? Especially people who come from homes where maybe their parents were, not reachable. Please, please, please. Let the fear of rejection not keep you from opportunities. What's the worst thing they can say? No. What's the worst thing that they can say? Refuse your request, right? Don't take it personal. You can ask again some other time or ask some other person. What I'm simply saying is that don't allow fear rob you from the better life you can have. Don't also allow shyness. The thing I've found out is that the more I do things, the more I show up, the more I interact with people, the more confident I become. That's the truth, okay? And one of the ways also to help bolster your confidence or prepare you is to prepare ahead of the conversation, right? Where you prepare your talking points, where you check out their profile, and you have some things that about them, you know them a bit more, or you watch their interactions with other persons or in the class, so that you just help to better prepare yourself. Okay. The next thing that's also a challenge for many students is unclear goals, where they don't know what they want to do. Where I'm simply saying you must also learn to clarify your own goals. You must learn to clarify your own goals so that you are focused doing your questions and doing your networking session. It's not also everybody that you necessarily have to connect with. Okay. And another challenge or another thing that I see sometimes students do is where they're insincere. Where it's almost as though they are being transactional, as though they are making it a tit for tat thing. Please, please, that's not the basis of this. That can hurt relationships. You must focus on mutual benefits, but also understand that be authentic, be sincere. Sometimes, right, that place where you are is enough for someone to help you from. Okay. Now, still speaking on lecturers, I want to say a few things. A few things. There are some lecturers that we align with your academic goals. There are some lecturers that we align with your career interests. Right. One of the ways to tell is what is their research focus. What is their of course, it's not very. I acknowledge that there are some lecturers in Nigerian universities that you don't even want to talk to them. I don't want to start telling some also unpleasant story, but I've had some of the very excellent lecturers, Professor Path, Engineer Coco, Engineer Prophet. A number of lecturers who are also very intentional about me, and I can tell you that we have those good ones. Right, we have those good ones. So what I'm simply saying is that research their interests, research their teaching skills. There's one lecturer who in our faculty, the Faculty of Engineering, he's just a great blessing, right? That's Professor Andrew. There are lecturers like that who are intentional about giving to the next generation. You should identify them and reach out to them. Like I said, check out their profile on LinkedIn, on social media, so that you know some things about them and it would help your interaction with them. And also prioritize on just the connections that are relevant to you. Like I said, it's not everyone that is for you or that you will work with. Okay. Still speaking on professional communication because this is so important. I intend to also make a LinkedIn post on this. You must learn to use formal language. Recently, I had somebody reach out to me. I still have a lot of progress to make in life. But the person reached out to me and was just being so informal now. And I was like, hey, who is this? It was almost disrespectful. Please be formal. It's not some of those funny greetings that you just use in your first interaction. Start with an introduction. Avoid the use of slang. Avoid all of this overly casual relationships, especially when you are reaching out for the first time on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, or via email. Be concise, be informative, introduce yourself, be specific with your question. Sometimes I send messages, possibly via WhatsApp, and I try to say the things I want to say respectfully and as concisely as possible so that the person can respond at once. Okay. Also, proofread your messages so that you don't send messages with a lot of errors, avoidable mistakes. Okay. The thing with professionalism is that it reflects well on you. It presents you as someone who is respectful and responsible. Okay. Now, this is also something worth emphasizing. The place of social media. Oh, LinkedIn have blessed my life. I can't emphasize that enough. Social media, it's one of the strategic platforms to connect with lecturers and alumni. Okay. So be intentional about what you do there, about your presentation. Also, Twitter. That then when I think what year was that? There were some of those Twitter Spaces that were really, really helpful to me. And but just read this, and I would go on to my last slide, because I want to bring this to a close. And what is the last thing I want to emphasize? Please, relationships should be sustained beyond just the season where you need it. I can't emphasize this enough, right? So even as you graduate, stay in touch with this person. Personally, I make it a point of contact to once in a while. Just, oh, I've not reached out to this person. I reach out. I greet. I once again remind them that they were a blessing to me at this time and appreciate them. So what I'm saying is learn to sustain your connections, some connections. Sometimes you see that, oh, this lecturer that was a doctor is now a professor. Send a congratulation message. Send. My point is, all of those simple little things can help to sustain that relationship and can also, be a blessing to you much later. It's a lifelong process, and I'm rooting for you. And I trust that you've gained one or two things that would help your own interaction with lecturers and alumni from this video. Please do share, do subscribe to this YouTube channel, Conversations with Caleb Cookigam. If you have questions, ask in the comment section. I do respond to my comment section. You can confirm that. Okay, and I trust that this has been of value to you. Shalom, shalom. Thank you, and God bless you.